Well, hello everybody. My name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto Under 20. And I guess I'm just on this consistent structured discipline run that I'm on with my podcast because I see just how important it is to stay the course. Just be steady Eddie with your commitment. How are you doing with food? If you are new to keto or keto under 20, or just even wrapping yourself around low carb, high fat, transitioning out of another program that might have had sugars and grains like Weight Watchers or something like that, you need to give yourself a lot of time and patience to get used to it. In the interim, I always suggest keeping it very, very simple. Not going out and buying or ordering online or writing down or buying the ingredients for any keto-fied recipes. Just keeping it very, very simple. For me, when I need to keep it very, very simple, it is a 4-ounce portion of animal protein, like grass-fed beef patty or a chicken thigh with the skin extra crispy, or 4 ounces of salmon, something like that. Very simple, very diet-like looking, nothing fancy. And then for me, I'm on an asparagus run right now. And then something like sauteed spinach, maybe in some coconut oil, maybe with a little shake of sesame seeds on top of it, something like that. Or a salad with minimal, like a tablespoon of olive oil or macadamia nut oil or avocado oil. I don't do vinegar myself, but if you could make it at home and not buy a bottled dressing, something like that, with, again, like some steamed spinach or asparagus or broccoli or cauliflower, just something simple. Yes, it looks like the diet of old times, except, here's my except, add some cultured, pasture-raised butter to those veggies, and even the piece of meat or fish. I add a pat of butter to my steak on steak night. Yes, I do. So that's how I roll, and that's what works for me in keeping it simple. And so when I did my podcast on mono eating, that's pretty much what it is. It's a portion of protein to which I add a salad and a veggie or 2 veggies. And I keep it very, very simple. This lighting's just like I feel like I'm being interrogated at the police department. Maybe that's a little bit better. Anyway, so that's keeping it simple. You can't go wrong keeping it simple. If you find yourself impatient with keeping it simple and just having, that little bit of meat, the salad, and the veggie, I guess you could fancy it up. But I just like to keep it like that. It keeps me sane. Sometimes slowing down at the beginning is important because once you find something that you're finding satisfying and like it's working, you want it to work overnight, faster. I'm ready, I'm going to do it. That motivation that is like, it's almost like it's not a false bundle of energy, but it is that, transitioning over to something new energy where it's like, I want to get this, I want to get it going, I want to work on this, I'm finally ready. So, but, just pace yourself. Maybe listen to more podcasts instead of spending more time in the kitchen. Or if you really feel that you can hop onto exploring keto foods and getting a little bit more fancy than what I said, go ahead. But make sure that you're tracking and you're keeping those carbs under 20. I wouldn't suggest subtracting the fiber to get net carbs, so you could have almost 30 grams of carbs because 10 of those are fiber. I wouldn't suggest doing that quite yet. I wouldn't suggest allowing alcohol at first, and I definitely wouldn't suggest allowing some form of what you might see as a keto dessert. Just keeping the basics until you get it down. It might be tedious, it might be over and over and over and over again, the same thing. But sometimes that's what works to get you into the groove of doing it. For me, the best part, this is like a diet might have been in the old days where you have, your 3 squares or your snacks or whatever it is that used to be an old diet that you're on. Except I have 2 meals a day with my bulletproof coffee, so I do have fats and oils in my food plan, which keeps me satiated. So having that 85-15 burger with a pat of butter on it, or maybe a few slices or chunks of avocado with that meal, with something like the spinach, the broccoli, the cauliflower, the leafy salad with a homemade dressing of olive oil and something, so you're not getting those chemicals. And it's basic, but you can add more flavor with either a few shakes of a lamb's tail, or the butter. And then you might note, and then noticing what holds you from maybe meal number 1 to meal number 2. If you have to begin with 3 meals a day, that's okay. The goal is to not spike your insulin frequently every day, because that's what you're pulling on. And once that insulin gets spiked, then your body works hard to get rid of it. And so the whole part with keto is just not overloading your body with 3 squares and 3 snacks a day. It's limiting the windows of food, the windows of feeding that you have. At least that's how it is for me. So I have my bulletproof coffee when I get up and record these silly little podcasts between like 3 and 4 in the morning. So I've already had that. And now it is 9:14. I'm about to go to the rec center for my second walk of the day. And I'm having a regular cup of coffee with my teaspoon of Zyla and my 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream that is organic, pasture raised. And that's it for me for the coffee for the day. When I get back from the rec center, I'm going to have a piece of homemade quiche that I made and 3 ounces of grass-fed filet mignon that we had for steak night for my lunch. My dinner tonight, keeping it simple, is a bowl of easy crack slaw with 1 tablespoon of organic, unrefined, first cold pressed coconut oil, Calapo, put onto the easy crack slaw after it comes out of, I heat it up in the toaster oven because I've already made it. And that is made with grass-fed beef, organic broccoli, coleslaw, and spices. When I say easy crack slaw, Google it, you'll see it's easy crack slaw. And that's what I'm having. Those are my 2 meals for the day. Not a lot of veggies, although the crack slaw gets my carbs up to, I think 12 carbs for the day or something like that. I do not subtract the fiber so I can have more carbs. That's just me with my structure, my discipline, and my consistency. Have I bored you enough lately? So if you're starting out new, or maybe you're refreshing yourself because you were getting a little lazy keto, what is lazy keto, you ask? Lazy keto is when your eyeballs become your measuring spoons and cups and scale. Yeah, I could fill this with, I can free pour the heavy cream in it, and I can just dump some of the Zyla in it, and I'd say that's like 1 tablespoon. I've seen people do the things on TV, on their podcast, and they'll say, and this is my coffee with heavy whipping cream, and it's 1 tablespoon, and that heavy whipping cream is as light as vanilla ice cream. Sorry, that's not 1 tablespoon, trust me. If I could get away with it, I would. And so that's what lazy keto is. It's just looking at something and saying, yeah, you're about 4 ounces, and then if you really weighed it, it'd be 6.2 ounces. So if you really want to get serious and grown up about this food plan for life, the ketogenic food plan, bring out those tools. Don't give in to them. I've never graduated from using my cups and spoons and scale. Not the scale to say how much I weigh, the scale to tell me how much that weighs. So I'm not being loosey-goosey. Loosey-goosey got me here. Loosey-goosey got me to the size that I was when I finally got serious. You don't need loosey-goosey keto. You need the structure and the discipline. Does it take time? Yeah, but really, seconds. It takes seconds. Just like coming over here with your first cup of coffee, sitting down in front of your computer, mine's right there, and putting your food in. Putting in your food. Do you know what that does psychologically? When you put your food into the tracker, it sets the tone of the day. And it works. Is it crazy? Is it magic? Yeah, could be, might be, but it works. And that's what counts, right? You want something that works. You want to be how else could you show self-love and self-care? By planning your food, putting it in your tracker, weighing and measuring it, and then having it. And if all else fails, add that pat of butter and get satiated so you can go from your first meal to your second meal, and from the second meal to all the way through the whole night and the early morning to getting to that first meal of the day again. And guess what that's called? Intermittent fasting. Now, my intermittent fasting is with fat because it's a bulletproof coffee. I'm not spiking my insulin. Fats are neutral as far as spiking your insulin. So that's why people have it, because it fuels them. It's like fuel for the brain. Your brain loves fat. Do not be afraid of the cholesterol. Do not be afraid of the fat. Your brain will thank you. It'll give you more clarity and more focus, but make sure that your fats are the highest grade you can have. We're not talking vegetable oils, soybean oils, Crisco, things like that. We're talking the coconut oil. We're talking the pasture-raised butter. We're talking MCT oil. We're talking brain octane from Bulletproof Coffee Company. We're talking things like that heavy whipping cream. Even coconut milk, the fat in that. So, this has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto Under 20. Go easy, go simple, get it down. Get it down. Don't get it down. Don't think that you have to jump into being fancy Nancy with your recipes. You want to just get the groove of having enough fats in your meals to carry you to the second meal of the day and to carry you to the next day. If you're a nighttime eater, trust me, you're going to have enough working that to not having nighttime eating. So there's so many different, this is an elevator that will take you, it will soar to the top of the building overlooking the city, or it'll plunge you down into the overnight parking garage 7 floors under. And you can do whatever you want with this program. You can always be tweaking it and bettering yourself and feeling better. The results show on the scale. The results show on your body, even more than the scale. The results show in your mood. The results show in great sleep. And if you're constipated or you have a headache, that's keto flu, Google those sort of things and find out what the remedies are. Sometimes it's more salt in your diet. If you liked salt before, you'll love it now, but not table salt. You want to get gray salt. You want to get Himalayan pink salt. You want to get sea salt. You want to get it like as pure as you possibly can. And then enjoy. You want to make sure you get the potassium, magnesium. I take them in pill form and powder form, and then look for the leafy greens that have them. And it can just go deeper and deeper and further, and your health will go higher and higher. It's a wonderful, wonderful program for life. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food, with just a little more spring motivation for you. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye for now.